Hello, Milkman Kennedy here. Actually, you know what? I really hate my handle, Milkman Kennedy. I really don't ever refer to myself as Milkman Kennedy. It's just my handle name. I'd change it if I could. But if you want the explanation for Milkman Kennedy, I chose it back in 2007 when I started a YouTube account because it was a combination of the names of two bands I like, the Dead Milkmen and the Dead Kennedys. They both have Dead in the name, so I just took out the Dead part and I just mixed Milkman Kennedy, because I like the Dead Milkmen and the Dead Kennedys. Both great bands in my opinion. So there you go, there you have it. And I try to use the sense of humor and political point of view in both bands' songs in my daily philosophies and my process of thinking, to the detriment of more conservative thinkers, I'm certain, with more rigid points of view, saying that pretty much everything should be sort of objective and under the view of one big old overseer. But since I think I'm going to have some more attention, I suppose, due to a video made about me, I'm noticing that I've some of my videos have increased in views, like maybe one view each, like Lions, Tigers, and Bears Dead in Ohio. That was 29 views, and today I look at it and it's 30 views. So, whoopee! Somebody might be watching my sort of boring, meandering, sloppy, ranting philosophies, and I'm perfectly cool with that. Sure, I mean, I like a little bit of attention, I guess. Don't so much like, being referred to as a horrible, degenerate person by people who've never met me, don't know me, and who are outright prejudiced, whatever, I guess, or maybe they aren't prejudiced to a full degree. But I figure with this new attention, I'm going to start doing something, because I'm really shitty at giving points of view on politics and whatever. I really am not a very knowledgeable cookie to a good common sense degree, or what I know about some things. I'm more of a pop culture junkie, so I shouldn't really talk to amazing atheist length about political views or whatever, because I really don't know shit. I just know what I know, and everything is subjective. But, even if I'm being subjective in who I am and my morals, I've never stolen, I've never killed, except for a tadpole I killed when I was 11 years old, and I think a squirrel I ran over years ago. And I've never been to prison or arrested. I've only been ticketed for traffic fines a couple of times, so yeah, I don't think I'm that bad of a person. So anyway, what I want to do is start a system of reviewing books, CDs, movies, whatever, for whoever might want to hear my opinion. And I would like to review today the Jehovah's Witness Watchtower magazine. It is issued for November 1st, 2011. The Watchtower, announcing Jehovah's Kingdom. What is the Bible's view of sex? And let's see, la-da-da-da-da, la-di-da-di-da-di-da. Really, I'm not going to review this. I have a regular visiting friend who happens to be a Jehovah's Witness, and, even though I'm an atheist, I try to be an open-minded person, engage in everybody's, make friends of all beliefs, and, if they listen to me, I'll listen to them, and, I get along with a good amount of people with such a policy. It's only people who are intolerant to any view besides their own that I don't tend to get along with or have conflict with. And luckily anymore I don't meet them so much. Seems like since, 2000, and last time I ran into a major sort of fundamentalist asshole who pretty much would have said that everybody I've ever known and loved in my family is in hell and burning in agony for all eternity for the crime of being born into a Catholic family or a Lutheran family. That was back in 2009, I think. So, yeah. No assholes since then, at least not on such a grand scale, except for outside of the YouTube comment boards and some videos. Yes. So, okay. That aside, what I really want to review for you, to just rant about or tell you how much I love it, is the legendary classic Kurt Vonnegut's The Breakfast of Champions. Well, not the Breakfast for Champions, just Breakfast of Champions. I'm relatively new to Kurt Vonnegut. No, I'm probably really late on the bandwagon. The poor old man died back in 2007, so of course I'm really late to the game. But I've been that way for every author. I've been into H.P. Lovecraft, Stephen King, Anthony Burgess, and recently I've tried getting into Friedrich Nietzsche. I've not read as much of Bukowski as I would like. I have read a hell of a lot of Capote, good stuff, but not about them. I'm talking about Vonnegut. Vonnegut is very legendary and for good cause. I've been interested in him for a few years since hearing about Slaughterhouse-Five. Looked him up, but I've never rented any of his books because the main branch library in my town doesn't have them. But luckily, last month I found out that my college library has them, and I'm so stupid sometimes. I had no idea that I could rent books from the college library and actually take them out of the library. Because normally when you rent a book at that library, you have to keep it on the floor and inside, and you have to return it before you leave the library. And luckily for books on the second floor, you're actually allowed to take them home for a little while and have time to read them and enjoy them, which I was good to know. And I immediately went up there and I rented Friedrich Nietzsche's The Problem of Evil. I think that's the name. I haven't really gotten through it. But I just absolutely devoured Breakfast of Champions by Kurt Vonnegut. And being German-American, of course, I would naturally be, drawn to the works of another German-American person. A free thinker, a pessimist, a humanist, and a atheist, of course, I guess. I think Kurt Vonnegut was an atheist, and even if he wasn't, whatever, I don't really care. So either way, he was a very intelligent man, I think. I can't say I agree with him on everything he said or did, but, I do agree with him to a good degree, or I find his stuff very amusing, and this book in its whole is so freaking amusing. How could you not love this book, I guess, unless you like Joyce Meyer books or something? This is perfectly up the alley of anybody who probably is into some serious good literature, or at least my subjective opinion of what is seriously good literature. Don't take me at face value. Don't think I'm telling you what to do. I'm not. I'm just giving my opinion. If you care, then wonderful. So either way, yes, The Breakfast of Champions, a really great book. I don't want to give any of it away. I finished it up yesterday. Took me a while to get started and to officially get into it, but once I did, I could not quit reading it. And I finished it yesterday. So I finished up maybe about 80% of the book in 2 days, because it was just so freaking good. And basically, I won't really tell you much about it. It's basically just a story of fate's meeting by insanity, pretty much, and bitterness, and the resignation of fate. But it's a very relatable book, and if you read it, it's probably this way with all Vonnegut novels. I mean, this is the first and only one I've read so far. Next, I plan to try to read Slaughterhouse-Five or whatever else I can get my hands on. But it is a very good book, very gripping. It takes you into a world of... even though this was written in 1973 and was based on that point of view at the time, it is relatable now, Not to a T, but reading through it, I could just see the evil of society just reflected so wonderfully, just sociopathic attitudes of a society that sweeps people under the rug and is just so inherently selfish and self-absorbed and shallow. It was wonderful to read, and it grabbed me, and in the end it made me think. It just blew my mind at the end. And I'm not going to tell you any of it. It's basically just about this legendary writer within the Vonnegut universe named Kilgore Trout, who is on the way from his home to a town somewhere in rural Ohio, a fictional town called Midland City, and it's just a really good book. I want to see the movie now, even though I heard the movie's terrible. Still, the book is just absolutely great, and I recommend it to anybody who likes Vonnegut or who just likes a good book. I'm pretty sure that most people have heard of this book by now. I'm sure I'm relatively late to the party, but if you're by any chance interested in good literature and you don't mind offensive language and an occasional sort of anarchist style writing, including, pictures once in a while. I love how witty and just how chaotic and original it is for a book, you know. I mean, it's just great, I think. And I'm normally used to the more rigid sort of sticking to the rules style, but I just love how Vonnegut just went all out, you know. He just didn't adhere to the rules of writing, you know, or the established sort of norm. And that's, I think, what was great about Vonnegut and period, you know, just that big, humanistic, pessimistic, critical thinker. You know, so many of that we need today, I think, and luckily there is. Just some people take it over the edge, and even I can, because I can be a cynical asshole sometimes, but I try not to because I'm a pure optimist, believe me. Even in my worst times, I like to think that better days are ahead. So, there you have it. My review of Kurt Vonnegut's Breakfast of Champions, a great book. Take the time to read it if you haven't, or if you already read it and you like it like I do, please be generous enough to give me a thumbs up. Thank you.